Ba 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 Juniversal horror. Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Juniversal Horror Month and my headbands. Then why do you keep doing that? So, today we're looking at another 1931 horror film, Frankenstein. Yes. Directed by James Whale and starring Boris Karloff. Yes. After the success of Dracula, Universal wanted another one. Cranked it out in the same year, and, they wanted Bela Lugosi to play Frankenstein. It's a monster. To play the monster. I almost messed up. To play the Frankenstein monster. He'd rather play the doctor to change it up, but Universal said, no, we want you to be the monster. And after a horrendous makeup test, he's like, I am done, and he walked away from it. They got Boris Karloff to come in to play the monster. The monster does not talk, which was another reason why Lugosi didn't want to play the role. But Lugosi would play the role later in Dracula versus the Wolfman. Or Frankenstein versus Wolfman, excuse me. But, we won't be talking about that one. This was directed by James Whale. After a couple of other directors dropped out, he took up the role. It is to note that he was the first openly gay director out there. And, Colin Clive plays Dr. Henry Frankenstein, which is not the character's name. It's Victor Frankenstein, but, for some reason, they swapped his name with another character, his friend, whose name is Henry. They swapped them. So now he's Henry and his friend's name is Victor. It makes no sense. I don't know. Can't read minds. But, yes. And this also features Edward Van Sloan playing a new character, Dr. Waldman, who is essentially just Van Helsing, and just especially with the same actor, it really feels like Van Helsing. But yeah, the movie actually opens with Edward Van Sloan coming out and warning people of how dark the movie is. Of how, apparently in 1931, this was, considered to be what the British would call a video nasty over there. Even if this was never one of them. It's just like, it was taboo? What is the word? Scandalous to have something like this? Because of desecration of the dead, but I don't know. But he comes out and he warns the audience what you're about to see is very creepy, very scary, and it's just to watch yourself, I guess. But yeah, the movie starts proper with a funeral. Someone has died, and then two guys decide to rob the grave of the body. But apparently the brain is not good enough. So, Herr Dr. Frankenstein. This takes place in Germany, but everyone speaks with a British accent. Even Baron von Frankenstein speaks with a British accent. That would be Henry's father. There's even Dr. Waldman has a bit of a thing to him. I don't know if Edward Van Sloan was German. I don't know. But the Burgermaster, he even has like a English. I don't know. They're all British for some reason. But yes, Dr. Frankenstein orders his hunchback servant Fritz, not Igor. In fact, the hunchback servant would go on to be called Igor by fans, but Igor was never the actual Igor was never a hunchback. There would be an Igor in Son of Frankenstein, played by Bela Lugosi, but it's not. Is that Bela Lugosi or was he Carl? in the second one. I don't know. I haven't seen those, but no, the second one there was no Hunchback. I think Carl's from the Hammer Frankenstein actually. Anyway, so he sends Fritz, played by Dwight Frye, by the way, and not for nothing, he's good in this, but he's not as good as he was as Renfield. He doesn't get the. I mean, one of the first shots is him going. But other than that, it's not, you know. He goes to get the brain. You know how this story goes. He picks it up and he drops it. Everything's in glass containers in 1931. So, yeah, so the thing has always been he drops it, he picks up the brain of Abby Normal. Wrong movie. Wrong Frankenstein movie. An abnormal brain. The question that has always plagued me is, so he dropped it. Pick it back up, take the abnormal brain out of that one, throw it away, put that in there, take the sticker off, and off you go to the races. Why is it when it crashes on the floor, it's automatically bad? The brain is still in one piece, right? It's not like the episode of Boy Meets World where Corey had the brain thing and it kind of broke in half. He dropped it and it broke in half. It looks like it's in one piece, right? No, but the abnormal brain, he takes it to him. Does the abnormal brain thing even do anything? Really? Meanwhile, we have what is it essentially filler. There's a whole thing with Henry's fiance, Dr. Frankenstein's fiance, Elizabeth, and this guy who really wants to get in her pants named Victor. I mean, he's basically just swooning over her the whole time. I would do anything for you. Wow, keep it in your pants, dude. She's engaged. Even in 1931, he really wants. Like, Jesus. So they, along with Dr. Waldman, go to Frankenstein's castle and knock on the door forever. I swear. How long? You just hear. They just keep knocking. I'm like, answer the door. Please answer the door. It's like, was it Frankenstein yesterday when the phone was ringing and they're just talking over? I'm like, answer the phone! I was watching something where they were, like, it was like the scene was, we have to finish this conversation, answer the phone, but the phone is ringing the entire time. It might have been Dracula yesterday. I don't know. But it felt like, I don't know. But continuing noises. Continuing noses. Constant noises. This is the tapping or something like that. You get to me very easily. And that was like, answer the door. I don't know what to answer it. I don't know. And he answers it. And then he shows them his experiment. He uses lightning to bring this experiment to life. And rightfully loses his mind when it comes, it's alive! Alive! Now I know what it's like to be God. A line which was struck from the movie afterwards for years. Because they call it sacrilege. But the whole idea, the whole idea of this movie is sacrilege, you know. Grave robbing, you know, that's desecration. I know it just very much. So yeah, I don't know. That one line though, that was too much. Just can't mention it, but it's brought back. I actually like the additional line. I like the line in there. So yeah. Well, he's gone. Bye-bye, Egon. So they take him away to be married to Elizabeth, I guess. While Dr. Waldman stays behind to dispose of the monster. And he dies. Dr. Waldman gets strangled by the monster and the monster gets away. And then, for some reason, he meets this little girl. And they're throwing flowers and they see the flowers can float on the water in this lake. So he takes the little girl, throws her in. And she dies. I've always thought this was weird. Like, the little girl can't swim or tread water. She just drowns. I get it. kids that young, they probably can't swim. But if you could move your arms and legs, you could find a way to do something. Even in that situation. I don't know what this kid was. I don't know. It always felt like something they had to do. Apparently, they wanted to cut away from this too and just show the aftermath, which is the father walking through the village with the dead corpse in his arms, which seems almost worse, actually. And I think I like the fact that the death is in there because, think about it. He picks her up, it cuts, and he goes to throw her in or something, and it cuts, and you see the dad walking. I think that would be too comedic of a cut. People would start laughing. If I did, I'd be like, what was that? What kind of editing was that? What cut was that? So I'm glad they kept it. Meanwhile, as they're getting ready for their wedding and Baron von Frankenstein is getting shit-faced, seriously, this dude always has some sort of glass with something in it in his hand. The Frankenstein monster, the monster, somehow breaks into Elizabeth's room to go after her. And this is where we draw comparisons to Dracula. Kinda. Yeah. And because of this, they now want to destroy the monster. And this leads to the famous windmill scene where he comes on top of the windmill. Henry tries to go after him and he gets thrown off. He survives somehow, I guess. Theory is he was supposed to die, but they changed it. Whatever the case, I don't know anyone who would survive that, but okay. So, in response to this, they set the windmill on fire and, quote-unquote, killed the monster. And Baron von Frankenstein celebrates by getting more shit-faced. End of the movie. There it is. My nose is just itching. I'm so sorry about that. It is bothering me. Could be allergies, I guess. But, yeah. I will say, the climax of Frankenstein is a little bit better than Dracula. It has a lot more going for it other than, just having, Harker run off screen to her. You see them reunite, and then you hear, which apparently Universal cut the screams for 60 years before adding them back in. What happened here? Oh no! Oy. There we go. But yeah, this was a better climax, I think. How Dr. Frankenstein survived that, I don't know, but he's in the next one, apparently. I know he is. With what's he, Dr. Pretorius? Is he, I haven't actually seen The Bride of Frankenstein. I've seen enough clips from the Chucky franchise. Didn't know enough. And of course I know the story. But, yeah. I'll also give it a pretty good. I always like this one too. But I hear some people say this is better than Frankenstein. It still has that, or better than Dracula. I don't think so. Maybe I just like Dracula as a character more, but it still has that sense where there's no score. Apparently there is a score made for the Dracula film, but it doesn't match it as well. There's not really much of a score for this, really. Maybe there is. Maybe it doesn't make attention of it. It just seems very quiet. But I don't know. I think it works as a film. It's not bad. It's not bad. Pretty good. Pretty. So, what are your thoughts on Frankenstein? Leave a comment below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And tomorrow, we will take a look at The Mummy. Or not tomorrow. For Friday, we'll look at The Mummy. Next time, I guess. Till then, thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.